Okay, welcome to How to Do Multimedia Projects Without Pulling Your Hair Out, Part 1. So I wanted to show you my best tip for passing out directions and helping students work through a multimedia project in ways that let them be self-directed and don't ask them ask you a million silly questions about typing in addresses wrong, things like that. So the key is that you want to create your directions in Google Docs. So this is a Google Doc that I've typed up. You'll see there's directions. I do my best to make them be color-coded and really easy to follow and skim around. Once you've got your directions kind of the way you want them, and they don't have to be perfect because the beauty of Google Docs is that they will update as you make changes. So as long as they're kind of the way you want them to go, you go to the File menu and choose this option, Publish to the Web. And basically when you hit this button, Start Publishing, it changes your Google Doc at a different link from a document that looks like a page to a web page. And I'm going to copy that link so you can see what it looks like. So if I go to a new tab, this is what it looks like in document format. Here's what that same page looks like published to the web. So now it looks and acts just like a website instead of a document. This automatically adjusts to fit the size of my window. If I fit my window down like this, it wraps the pages. It'll fit on a student's phone. So it's a really powerful tool to just make the absolute most simple web page that you can. You don't have to create a site, you don't have to embed anything, you don't have to create a blog. This is a website just published from a Google Doc. Unfortunately, the address is really long and unwieldy. So the second key step of this process is being able to share this directions page with students. So to do that, before you do that, you do need to go to Share on your document and make sure that anyone with the link is able to see your document. So here I am as the owner, but I've changed this option from private to only people who have expressly granted permission to anyone with the link is able to view this document. And so here it can view. They can't edit, but they can view. And I do save that setting also. And that makes it so that anybody who has the link for this web page can actually read the project directions. Okay, so now I have this very long and unwieldy address for this web page, and I want to be able to share it with students. So one good trick is to go to goo.gl, and you'll notice this page is connected to my personal Gmail address, which means that every shortened URL that I've ever done through goo.gl is contained here so that I can track them over time. So for example, here's a link that I created in the summertime. 44 people have clicked on this link, and I can even click on details to see when people were clicking on it, what browsers they're using, what countries they've come from, what kind of computers they're using. So the analytics showing you what's happening with that link are pretty powerful on Google, and they happen automatically as long as you're signed into your Google account. So to use goo.gl, I've copied and pasted that long address. I'm going to paste it here and say shorten URL. And it'll give me a shortened URL like this. So if students type in goo.gl/J, lowercase I, lowercase o, 567 in their browsers, and I'll copy that and show you, it will take them directly to my published directions. So that's a lot easier, obviously, to type in. Kids will still make mistakes sometimes because of capitals, things like that. They read things wrong, so you have to write it clearly, make capitals very clear. The other tip that I have is that lowercase o's, capital O's, zeros, ones, and lowercase l's can get confusing. So if you have something that has an O and you don't want to have a shortened URL with an O, you can just click this blue button again, and it'll give you a different one. This one they're much more likely to be able to do. You might even decide, I don't like having a capital S right next to a lowercase s. That could get confusing, say give me another one. And just click through until you get one that looks easy to type in. This one looks like it would be less likely to have students make mistakes. The other thing that's really neat about Google URL Shortener is that you can create QR codes. And QR codes are like a barcode that students can scan with an app that they download for free onto their smartphones or iPod touches. And once you have the QR code scanner, they just hold their phones over it and it'll take them straight to the website. There's lots of ways you can create them, but the easiest way is right through this Google URL Shortener. To do that, you copy the shortened URL, you paste it in the browser, and you type in .qr at the end of the address and hit return. And then it gives you this barcode scanner that you can then save or copy, insert into another document, project from your projector, and then kids are able to just scan straight to that document. So that's one good way to give students the link to your published web page. The other way that works well is tinyurl.com, which works like bit.ly, except that you don't have to create an account. So if you go to tinyurl, the principle is the same as goo.gl. All of the addresses start with tinyurl.com, the same way that Google ones start with goo.gl, and then add something to the end. And so we can use it the exact same way. Here's the long address. And I'll paste the long address here and say make me a tiny URL. And it gives me this one. So this is lowercase m, capital 579, lowercase y, the number 8, the letter G. And if students type that in, they'll go to my same published document. The thing that's nice about tinyurl.com is that you can also go down here and create a custom alias, which lets you, instead of having this random string of numbers and letters, you can type in any combination of letters, numbers, and dashes that you want. The challenge is that once a term has been used on tinyurl.com, it's unique for that page and can never be used again. So sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error to figure out a tiny URL that will work. So, for example, this is the Malleable Media project. I'm doing it in 2013. So maybe I want my address to be tinyurl.com/malleablemediaproject13. And if I hit return, it'll tell me if I can have it. It says it was not available, so I've gotten a random one, but somebody has already used that string of letters and numbers. So maybe I'll try doing Malleable Media Project -2013 this way. If I hit enter, that's also not available. So I've got to keep working until I find something that works. The advantage here is that students are even less likely to misspell once you have a custom one. So I'll try Malleable Media -2013, and that works. So now if I tell students to go to the computer lab, open up a new window, and to type in tinyurl.com/malleablemedia-2013, and I can put that on the board in the computer lab or give it to them on a strip of paper. You can even post it on a shared website like School Loop. If students go to that website right away, when they sit down in the computer lab, they are immediately right where they're supposed to be. And they're much less likely to start wasting time and to change their desktop, things like that. They just start working through the project. The other advantage to publishing your website this way is that once you have a published website, you can embed links like this, and this, and this, and this inside your directions, so that the less you have students typing links, the fewer mistakes they're going to make, the less frustrated they're going to get, and the less frantic you will be. That's it. So publishing a Google Doc as a web page, and then using a tiny URL or a bit.ly or goo.gl to shorten it and or create a QR code will make your life exponentially easier. Good luck with projects.